No, wait, but for real. So let me see this.
Hold on a second.
No, pick it up. I want to see it. I'm very visual.
It's not an amazing cover. But
Yeah, it is. That's awesome.
I mean, yeah, it's not like full Spider-Man or whatever, but it's very action oriented.
It's a scene, man. I like scenes.
Yep.
You know, like I have a respect for that kind of.
This is, I'm holding in my hand a comic book, you know,
Spider-Man.
pretty cool. The Amazing Spider-Man number 30.
Man, can I hold it?
One of the pickups that I picked up.
Pick up
recently.
That you picked up.
Yep. It's I probably graded it like a 5.0.
Out of what?
10.
Out of 10? That's not, so that's
the color's pretty good.
Middle of the road.
You got some cracking on that. You see on the spine, and there's some flaking, and the colors aren't quite good. They don't have white pages. You know, it's called very good. It's probably very good minus to very good plus.
Dude, I'm seeing Marvel Pop Art, 12-cent Productions.
12-cent comic. So
November 30th.
Yep, that's when it was scheduled. Well, it's not November 30th. It's November issue 30.
Oh, gotcha. Right, because it's got a 30 and then it says the November. Right, so that's the okay.
Yep.
Wow, okay. Hey, man, that's pretty cool. Only the batty Marvel bullpen could present such a truly dazzling display of daring do as the claws of the cat.
So you know who the artist is on that?
I don't.
Spider-Man 30?
Spider-Man 30. Don't tell me it's the guy who did Superman.
No.
Okay.
I won't tell you that.
Thank you.
Because you can kind of tell he looks a little different.
Let me see.
He looks kind of wiry, kind of, you know, the webbing is different or whatever. The guy that created Spider-Man, Stan Lee, right?
Stan Lee.
Helped create it, but the artist on it, who everybody forgets about, is Steve Ditko. Steve Ditko, Stan Lee.
No way.
Yep. He's the one that did very early Spider-Man stuff.
I like it when I can see the effort in the art on a very raw level like this.
Do you want to open it?
Yeah.
Look at it?
Well, I want you to.
Okay. I'm going to open it, and I'm going to play the intro while I open it.
All right, let's do it.
All right, let's do it.
I like it.
Okay. All right, I have since opened this book. I've never opened it before. It's not graded under anything. This is a raw copy.
Okay.
So I'm going to look at it first. I got to be careful with it though.
Yeah, you don't want to
It's not the oldest of books, but it's still not super duper
I see what you mean though. So the pages aren't like pure white. I mean,
they're very faded.
Yeah.
They're not. There's no like real tears in the pages, and it's complete.
Yeah.
It is detached, so the staples are gone, or they're not.
Yeah, I got you.
Connected to the book inside. However, I want you to see the art inside.
I want to see the art inside.
Okay.
All right. I'm gonna be very, 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 very careful.
I want you to see what it looks like, and you can also see the
oh boy,
the ads inside. All right, so I give that to you there.
Okay,
I didn't pay a ton of money for this book.
It had a decent price on the front of it. I don't know if you paid that.
I paid a lot less than that for it, which is why I got it.
That's awesome.
Very good deal,
dude. This is awesome. Yeah, I can see what you mean. The wiry kind of frames, the boxy heads. Definitely the spindly fingers and things that are involved in some of the art and you know.
So this is a 12 center. It was released for November, like you said, 1965.
Back in the 60s.
Yep. 1965. 65.
Would you like to take in $140 after supper?
Well, is that an ad or
Yeah.
the book?
Start while continuing present job. We furnish all the equipment and help finance you. No, anyway, I'm still looking. Oh, that's Spider-Man. Yeah. Oh, there's a mask involved in this one. Spoiler alert.
Oh, man, you spoiled a 65-year-old book.
Wow. Dude, even the color here and everything, the emotion in the faces.
The color's pretty good in that for a book that
I
old.
would say, and you know what? I'm going to be honest with you. If it were me, I know that you want things to be in perfect condition, and that's awesome. But I like feeling like
it's a reader's copy.
Yeah,
it
exactly.
has its own history.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm like that with a lot of things, honestly. I really enjoy. Wow, I love it, dude.
Look at the very back.
Very back, like the very, very back, like this.
Uh-huh.
He's looking for people who like to draw.
You know who that is?
Albert Dorn? Is that what I'm reading right here? Probably the greatest moneymaker in the history of commercial art. At the height of his career, he began a full-time search for people who like to draw. Interesting.
So this must be Jack Kirby. I thought it was Jack Kirby on the back. Honestly, I haven't looked at it yet.
Yeah, I mean...
That's not Jack Kirby?
I don't think so. Albert Dorn is what keeps popping up here.
Albert Dorn.
Yeah, it says some of the people Dorn has helped, and it talks about different people that he's been involved with. Ooh, Don Galemba of Detroit is another. He stepped up from railroad worker to the styling department of a big automobile company by showing his work with a school. Now he helps design new car models. Now I'm wondering if this isn't just... I don't know. I could be not doing this right.
That actually is him.
Okay,
Yep,
it is.
Yep.
Okay. Apparently he
did stuff for Saturday Evening Post.
Right.
Because up until this point, illustrators and Stanley almost described himself as
it's a little bit off.
When he would go to parties and stuff like that, hey, what do you do? He's like, well, I'm a writer. Oh, what do you write? Stories for children. Anything he could to kind of skip him saying, I'm a comic book writer. Because it was it was like, oh, you're not a real a writer.
Dude, the way that comics is shaped and the stories that are in them and where they've been and where they come to, though, are you kidding me? How are they not some of the greatest stories that exist on this planet? Seriously.
It's our own outliers, but folklore. It's our own mythology, I guess.
There you go. Say. Yeah.
Comic books started in the United States as America's mythology at this point.
Yeah. Yeah, I would say and a definite obvious, bit of our culture enshrined a little bit, through the ages. And that's what I was noticing when I was looking through that, because I was thinking about the 60s and all that's going on and some little tidbits of the style that's, in the, not even just in the style of the art, but the style of the clothing, all that kind of stuff,
Yep.
It's very evident. Whereas, in today's comics, the style of the clothing and furniture and all that, the cars and everything have a totally different look. Oh, he's opening it, folks.
I just ripped it in half. No, I'm trying to
trying to get it back in the cello, man. Get it in the protective case.
Yeah, get it back in here and try not to damage it. And the worst thing you can do is have the tape grab it.
Well, let me ask you a few questions, because I know not everybody, including myself, I didn't grow up. Not that you did either necessarily. I'm not saying you never did either, but we didn't grow up heavy on comics.
That's right.
This is something a little bit newer, right? As far
as
yeah.
My serious collector mindset is definitely within the last 10 years.
Yeah,
probably.
I've noticed you gravitating towards actual comic books, and the stories and how they're written and the art and all that is really cool. Now I've gravitated a little bit towards the art myself, of course, and I'm very visual. I always have been when it came to any kind of comic book that I'd be looking at.
Yeah.
The majority of it was like, ooh, look at that style. Ooh, look at that contrast.
Look at the art.
Look at the colors.
Yeah.
And I shame on me, I guess is what I'm saying. And it's really cool. I think it's cool that you have been getting into it, and it's kind of been getting me into it a little bit too.
Oh man, it's such a crazy world. So without going into modern comics, I'm gonna kind of stay away from that right now because
and modern meaning like uber modern, right?
Yeah, like within the last 5 years.
Okay. Well, that's fine. There's a ton of comics. Let's deal with.
Yeah, I have bought modern comics, like a lot of modern comics, from specific writers or creators that I really like or enjoy. But I guess there's a relationship that gets established between the creators and the content consumers. So, for instance, like there's a really cool Batman run in the New 52 for DC. I'm going to get really technical and nerdy.
That's all right. Yeah, no, get into it. Here we go.
But it was groundbreaking. You know, they kind of started with year one, like origin of Batman, and told their own story all the way through. And there was 52 issues, actually 53 issues, but it was New 52 because there was 52 universes. Right. Blah 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 blah.
So really quick, that's what that means. Because you hear people say that, oh, the New 52.
New 52 was an era, does that mean? And it was, it was a point at DC where they decided to like reset the universe, and because comics and continuity is so hard to understand. Oh my goodness, that's probably the most daunting thing about comic books. If you were like, well, I want to read about Green Lantern or Batman or Wonder Woman, where do I start? Issue 1, right? From the beginning, I want to know what the story is.
It's like, well, which one?
Okay, every time there's runs and there's different creators that come on and retell stories over and over and over again. And I remember somebody asking me about one time, could have been nephew Miles, who asked, he was like, so what is canon and what isn't? How many, is like, cause you hear all these crazy things and you're like, I don't like that about Batman or Superman or whatever. It's like, well, it kind of is all canon, but it depends on what universe you're talking about. But anyways, the New 52
right.
thing, a lot of people look down on that cause it kind of made Superman a weird wussy whiny boy at the same time, but
yeah, and we don't really go for that in our mentality of Superman. But I got you. Keep going.
The cool thing about it was, when it first came out, like this Amazing Spider-Man, this is the first time a story was being told, and it was groundbreaking because Spider-Man, in Stan Lee's view, was the first person to like have. He wasn't the perfect power punching. Nothing ever was wrong. Like the stories that like Superman was telling. Nothing against Superman because whatever, we already done episodes on that.
Yep.
But like, there's literally one where like Superman flies over and grabs Hitler and ends the war. So
that would have been easier.
Yeah, it's wish fulfillment in a way, and comics can be that way. But Stan Lee found a way to tell stories that were like he had problems.
Yeah, that's huge.
Like he's trying to have a life as a teenager.
Humanize them, right? Make them real.
Yeah, like he had problems, and you related to it that way. You can still tell the fantastical, cool things because there's that wish fulfillment side of it. But, anyways, back to the New 52 thing. Whatever. There's a writer and an artist I like. I got to meet them. Actually, they came to Comic-Con.
Nice. Was that this past year, or was it previous year?
Yeah, it was a while ago. It was pre-COVID.
Okay. Yeah.
But and I'm so glad I did because I don't know if it'll ever be the same if people, do those kind of events and stuff again. We're just kind of getting there now, but and I don't say I agree with them personally in all their beliefs and stance and all that stuff, but I love the story writing and I love the art. Yeah. Because it connected to me. So,
and that was in the New 52 era, or is that like we started talking about that?
It's a pretty famous Batman run in the New 52. It's just Batman. and Scott Snyder and Greg Capullo.
That's what I was waiting for. Yep. Scott Snyder. Yep.
They've written some stuff that's more adult. They've written some stuff, like I said, for DC that's
sure,
oriented to more young people. But like I said, I don't agree with everybody's political stance or personal beliefs or whatever. That's not what it's about. I connected to his art style. So Greg Capullo, I'll touch him specifically.
Oh yeah, he's a master.
He drew like
classic
stuff with Todd McFarlane, and like he did Spawn and all that kind of stuff.
Spawn was very. Oh man, I remember when
edgy.
that
was like in the 90s.
Yeah,
stuff. Just real edgy.
Let me throw this in really fast. Have you seen? Okay, really quick. Sorry. You made me think of it. You made me think of it. Spawn, when you're talking about that and the art style and everything, when I watched the new Spider-Man, I keep wanting to say something into the universe.
Yeah,
Spider-Verse.
Into the Spider-Verse.
Into the Spider-Verse. Sorry. His spoiler alerts, everybody. If you haven't seen it, it's your own fault. Okay, so shut it off if you haven't seen it.
You're talking about the Prowler.
Thank you. He has that Spawn kind of vibe, right?
Yep.
And even like the fingers and like the edgy shadows when he's running and the freaky. Anyway, I just wanted to throw that in, that instantly, because of his look, I think of his art. Yeah. When I even see something new like that.
So the Spider-Man, I think that you gravitated to the most would probably be Todd McFarlane's Spider-Man. He's the one that did like the really skinny, big eyes, really tiny webbing around the finger, and the webs were like lines like that, but then it had spirals around the webs. He was the first one to do that.
Okay, yes.
That's Todd McFarlane that did that.
And wasn't there a story behind that about them not really being sure whether or not I'm telling you, this is the truth. They were a little anxious about his style because of it when he started coming up with them. That look.
Yeah, he was very, very edgy. So here you go. I'm showing you a picture of it.
Oh yeah. I had a T-shirt that had definitely
like the big eyes and the crazy amount of webbing and just ultra detail kind of stuff.
Yeah.
That's you're getting into cool. The 90s stuff.
I mean, my favorite was still the original creator, and whatever was done in those books, like How to Draw the Marvel Way. Those were actually my favorite.
Yep. So
art styles.
You know who did that book was Stan Lee and Jack Kirby.
Yep, Kirby.
I believe Jack Kirby, Jack the King Kirby. They call him. He worked for DC and Marvel.
Yeah,
he's the one that created the New Gods, and he helped create so many characters.
Super good.
All the basic cores of the Marvel universe and everything like that. But you talked about we didn't grow up with like buying a lot of comics, but what I did read, I got from like the library and the butcher shop we talked about a couple episodes ago. Yeah. They had a little comic rack there, and you could either
I did not
pay a nickel for they had the penny candy. Yeah. Or you could go get a comic book. And there was some stuff I had no idea what it was. It was probably some indie stuff. Yeah. Or like dollar comics or something cheaper. But they had Superman, Batman, Spider-Man, things like that. Right. I do remember getting a few of those, but I wasn't so much invested in the story as a kid because I had no idea what was going on. I wasn't a comic avid reader. It was like
Batman.
A Batman book. Yeah. And okay, he's in a situation. I don't know why.
He's punching a bad guy.
And they didn't finish the story. So it like made me mad. So, what I did gravitate towards was going to the library and finding the trade paperbacks.
There you go.
So the very first story I remember reading from start to finish was, and this was in the Midland Library. They actually had a paperback, and it was the story of the death and return of Superman.
Yeah, I remember Ben.
Do you remember that?
Yeah, I tried to read it. I got through a couple of like chapters and then struggled. And then I'm talking about I think we're
'Cause it
talking
was a
about
book.
It was thick.
It was a
man.
book, but there wasn't pictures with it.
Right. Yeah.
Or there was. It was like in the
No,
middle. They
there
had like
were.
20 pages.
Yes, there
that
were
was
some
like
in the middle.
showed you, and that's what I'd like flip through that, and it was like,
That helped me.
what in the world? Superman's dead?
Yeah. I was like, why is Lex bringing him back to life and what? And then he separated his like powers a little bit. That was cool.
He
You gotta
did.
admit, that was pretty cool.
All the variant characters that came afterwards, like Superboy, the Man of Steel.
I mean, it was fun to experiment
the
with that.
Eradicator. Oh, there's still
Still a thing. I know that. I'm just saying, like, that was groundbreaking, man. They killed Superman.
It was the highest selling comic book of all time.
Sheesh.
So it's funny because you would think that it was probably the biggest comic of all time, I guess, because it sold the most. But it's like not valuable
Because so many of them were done.
exist.
Right.
Now, if you find one that's still polybag, they had a couple different ones. And this is where we get to the collector side now.
Hit us with it.
This
It's
is
all right. That's what this is
dangerous.
about.
This is dangerous what you get into, because you start discovering what they started doing was, because, you know, the Spider-Man 30 over here, they printed one cover, Spider-Man 30, all the
Right.
same.
Yeah.
When you get to like 80s, 90s and beyond, we sold out. We sold out the book, right?
Okay.
We're going to do another print of it.
Yeah.
It'll be the second print. We'll make it different.
Like a variant.
We'll do a different cover on it.
Nice. So now you've got like,
So that's cool because people are like, oh, new book. Oh, it's a reprint, refresh. It's like people that are like really into Harry Potter or Star Wars books or whatever. They make a billion different editions of them. Like, ooh, this one's hardback or hardcover.
Yeah.
This one is
this
the
one's
collected one.
the coloring book, do it yourself cover version.
They actually make those.
They do.
Oh, you did one for me as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was
Well, I still have it here. So if you want it,
yeah, well, just, I mean,
supposed to be for your birthday.
they got crazy with it, and it's kind of annoying.
Right.
At one point, but in another way, the completionist in me gets really upset with it because the first issue could literally have 10 different books.
And you're like, wait, but I need to have all of them.
But I need to have all of them to have it complete. It's never ending.
So let me go off on a little thing. Okay, so I see that in you. I liked it about you. I thought that was cool. For instance, we could get into some other genres of intaking coolness, and one of which would be movies and collections of movies together, collectible sets. We're talking like Lord of the Rings.
Oh yeah.
We're talking about even the Superman series. There've been a couple times where they've put them together in a collectible set.
Sets.
There you go. I know a number of people who've been pulled in and sucked into that world pretty hardcore too.
Yeah, because they're not doing that much anymore. It's
Exactly.
Blu-ray, so
Or like digital copy of just whatever in the ether. I do that, Amazon Prime, whatever it is, buy the movie. And there's something more special about having it in that way.
Do you think there is something to much less talking about an illness where somebody is like obsessed with something, and every comic collector probably fights this battle, or anybody that collects anything.
Art,
Excuse me. Yes. What do you think is the core drive behind that for somebody that is a collector? Obviously, you get to somebody that's a hoarder, and if you watch Hoarders on TV show, those are people that literally like can't let things go.
Right. Yeah.
But I'm talking about moderate to someone who's highly collectorish.
Right. That's I don't know. It's a good question. Like, I had a couple things pass through my mind that could describe it. But it's like I feel like some things are, like you were saying, they're a little bit more on the extreme side, and so there's maybe multiple things driving it. There's something still there's still the same source. I think the source is somewhere around the idea of the desire to have. So there's like the desire to have, desire to be, desire to do, I think is the other one. Which, as dark as this sounds, is all wrapped around like the three.
This is going to turn into a counseling session with Ken.
This is a counseling session. But honestly,
tell me about my problem.
Well, it's built into all of us that we have those desires, and then on certain people, I think it's more pushed to the front. Some people want power, some people want pleasure, some people want different things. Entertainment, is under pleasure, for instance, and that's not wrong in and of itself. Obviously, I'm not trying to get into a moral debate on it necessarily. I'm just saying that what drives that feed inside us is sometimes stronger in other people than others, I think. And I think that someone like you, who has a genius mind, yes, I'm saying genius mind because I think you do, is great at like seeing big picture kind of things and bringing them together. And when you get to see like the collection come together, like this power like happens and everything like
that was Thanos' problem. He was just a collector.
Yeah. So you're basically Thanos.
Actually, there was the Collector.
Oh, that's right. I actually know this.
Remember the Collector?
Yes, I remember. That's so cool.
That was his name.
Oh my goodness.
The Collector. What do you
Collector.
do? He just collects everything. He just wants to complete.
Total tangent. Total like rabbit trail thing.
The other thing was basketball cards.
Yep, basketball cards.
Did you get into that a little bit?
A little bit. I had some baseball and basketball.
I still have.
You got the Jordan, man. Didn't
I
you have a
have
Jordan?
a full complete, like I did the Jordan tribute series.
For
the Fleer,
sale
all that
now.
stuff. I already sold it. I sold it recently within the last year.
Oh, never mind.
I'll tell that story after that because it's really funny.
You might have to save that one.
Well, it's the short story.
Okay.
I'm just saying, finish what you're going to say.
Well, this will be short, so you probably get into it. But
okay.
I just saw like post. Okay, on your phone, you know how it'll have like whatever news, and it kind of like tries to learn what you like, right? It's at the front.
Yep.
And it'll just kind of it'll feed you stuff that it thinks you're interested in based on all your searches and stuff. And of course, one of the things that comes to the top is some comic stuff and like Superman art, stuff like that sometimes. Well, this one was the top 10 most deadly DC characters, like evil villains.
Yeah.
And oh my goodness, I didn't know all of them existed in the formats that they do. And I know that's a dark hole that we could go into at some point too. But like with, is it Dark Seed? Am I saying that right? Dark Side. And then there's, which was obviously really big, but what's the big dude? Is that Dark Side? Like with the
Galactus?
There we go.
He's not DC.
He's
though.
Marvel. No, this is a different guy. I'll pull it up so I can make sure.
You're talking about the New Gods?
Maybe it is. Okay, let's see. It might even just pop up as I go over here. Let's see. It's not going to. But I'm going to get it. But anyway, some of these characters and the designs that go with them and what their powers are like they're like nightmare type issues. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Whereas before it was like Atom Man, or whatever it was.
Stretchy Pants Man.
Yeah, he's going to come
Polka Dot Man.
Yeah.
He exists.
There is a polka dot man.
There's a polka dot man out there.
Yeah, but some of these guys are like, dream makers of like bringing them into reality and
the Sandman series got into stuff like that. Yep.
And like messing with reality on you and all that. I know we're getting used to that because of even Marvel's universe and what they're doing with stuff.
Yeah, and they're the dog's dreaming over there right now.
Oh, he's dreaming now. He's like
he's like
he's getting that rabbit. All right, I'm looking this up. Keep going. Okay. Wait, so on those I took this rabbit trail on purpose because I wanted you to talk about it a little bit. So just tell me a little bit about some of these like villains and where they're not even villains, they're gods. Let's just be honest.
The way, and that's what I was talking about. It's like a mythology thing because it really does go into, they get when you have like a lifetime of storytelling to develop characters.
Yeah.
When you're little kids, we didn't realize this, but there was probably an answer for all of our crazy questions. Like, do you think if Superman could ever beat this guy? And you're like, well, actually, go back and read the issue because this did happen. There's a lot of crazy trivia stuff out there where you're like, okay, that actually did happen in whatever such and such an issue out there. And it's like, oh, is that canon or whatever? I don't know, because Action Comics, which was the first one to do a superhero story with Superman. I don't know what number they're up to now, but they recently passed 1,000.
Whoa.
Because that's actually the book that I had you do the Superman Doomsday on was Action Comics 1000.
Okay. Yep. I
It had
remember
a
that.
blank
That's
cover.
right. Yep. Really quick. So like Lex Luthor in this writer's view
Opinion.
is like Lex Luthor is like 17.
Right, because he's only human.
Right. And I mean, I know he's only human, but like he's still above like a few. And then the Joker is like 16. I know he's also human, but you know what I mean? And you're like, what else is there at the top in all these stories? Vandal Savage, another guy.
The immortal.
Then we get into Ra's al Ghul.
Yeah.
You know, it starts getting like mystical sometimes, or Black Hand.
Yeah.
Like we're talking nightmare, like graveyard, like.
Yep.
Anyway, keep going. Sorry, I'm just giving you a heads up that I found it.
Ra's al Ghul was created by Neal Adams. Oh, Atrocitus? Yeah, that's a Green Lantern universe. He's a Red Lantern. So,
I mean, are you kidding me though? Are you seeing this?
He's pretty scary looking. He's powered by rage. So like green is will, yellow is fear,
See,
blue is hope, purple is love, red is rage, orange is greed, white is like all of them together, and then Black Hand was the black ring. It was powered by death. He could raise people.
See,
up
I'm
from
already
the
into
dead.
this. Now I want to like read about it to find out these stories.
And I would tell you that I have a whole collection.
Don't tell me that.
Trades.
Now
Those are the easy things to read. The trades are easy.
Sinestro's number 10.
Sinestro is an amazing character. Oh, I was talking about Ra's al Ghul. Ra's al Ghul created by Neal Adams.
Right.
Who actually right now Neal Adams streams on Facebook with his family. I think his wife and daughter and his son. He has a little store. He pumps out original art, like covered, like, and he sells it online. You can just be like, I want to buy that. And he does these little boxes where he
tell me
has,
this.
I'm telling you, you got to buy
Don't
some.
tell me this.
The guy recently had sepsis and almost died. And he's the Neal Adams is the guy that got the rights back to Jerry and Joe, the original creators of Superman, back to them, because at the time that Superman the movie came out in the 70s, they were living in a shack basically with no rights. He was the one that went and fought for artist-owned rights and won that battle and got their names back on, created by the two Jewish brothers.
Wow.
He's still alive, and he came to South Carolina Comic-Con, and he comes there basically every year. Probably
Is
not
that a year I missed?
He was there every time. He was the one that sits there and has like that huge, massive booth.
Yep.
He's known for his Batman, his classic Batman. He was the first one to draw Batman with a hairy chest. It sounds funny, but he grounded things in reality.
These are the things. Yeah, these are the things you pick up on.
He created Ra's al Ghul, and a lot of people say it's Ra's al Ghul. He's like, no, I wouldn't ask him personally. He's like, it's Ra's al Ghul.
Good. So we know straight from him.
I know straight from him.
Okay. As if we needed that, but whatever.
Neal Adams is known to be very direct and kind of a know-it-all in a way. I mean, the guy kind of is a know-it-all because he does know it all.
Yeah, there's a difference, right? If you're going to talk smack, you got to back it up. So he backs it up.
He's extremely confident.
Right.
And he's easy to get to like start telling stories and stuff. So every time he came, I'd try to think of a question to like get him started.
Yep.
So, 1 year I asked him about Ra's al Ghul, which he got 1 billion times. Another time I went and like asked him about, Jerry and Joe, Siegel and Schuster.
Woo.
And I was like, well, what were those guys like? And he went off and told his story. And then another time I came there, he wasn't there. His wife was sitting there. And I think he was going to the bathroom or something like that. I came in and I was like, hey, I'm looking to, at the time, we were looking to like invest in some original art. I had no idea what his stuff cost at the time. So I had asked if I could see some. She said, yeah, come here. He's not there. And so he let me, because he has all these tables set up around him with tons of his prints.
Yeah.
And he basically sell his signature for $50.
Right.
That's the level of value it is, like just a signature.
Yep.
But so she lets me in behind, and he has this old portfolio, like art portfolio thing. You know, they're not 8.5.
Yeah,
by 11.
I know what
It's
you mean. Yeah.
12 by, I don't know.
Yeah.
Big. And she's like, you can flip through that. If you have any question on prices or whatever, let me know. Cause he's a pretty, business minded guy. He'll sell you anything.
Right. He's in it for the game too, right? I see that.
Cause he's so confident in what he does. And I start flipping through this $30,000, $25,000.
Whoa.
$80,000.
What?
Flipping through some of this stuff. They were original pages from the comic books. Ones that he still owned, because a lot of them have been bought up, or, who knows? Someone may be in the Smithsonian. But, this is a page from Batman 237 or something, or from Batman whatever. It's like, that's the page. He's one of the last living, guys from that generation that crossed from the golden age to the silver age.
He's been in all of it.
So, I did end up buying something
for $30,000.
No,
what did you buy? Like his shoelace? Have him sign it?
I stole
2 pages.
Oh, the last part of that story was when he came back. The guy's kind of intimidating, but he's at the same time, he can be as sweet as can be.
Right.
Because he's a grandfather, or whatever. I came back and I'm flipping through that, and he's like, "Oh, hi," I said, "Yeah, I'm just waiting for Neal Adams." I didn't know what else to say.
I'm just waiting for Neal Adams.
He's like, "Yeah," he's like, "I heard that guy's kind of a cranky guy or whatever." He kind of laughed and broke the ice that way. I'd never had a conversation with him before where he wasn't presenting
in the mode
himself from artist to consumer.
It's nice to catch them when they're just kind of being themselves.
And also talking to his wife, or, that broke the ice too. So at that point, I got to spend about 35 minutes just talking to him.
Yep.
And it helped too when you buy stuff. Obviously he's there. That's why he's there. He's there to make a living.
Yeah.
So I did end up buying something. I bought because Ruth Ann was with me, my wife.
Yep.
And we ended up buying something for her. It was the Gal Gadot Wonder Woman that he did. It was 1 in 100. It wasn't an original, but it was a lithograph or G clay.
Yeah, there's G clay, serigraph, lithograph. Yeah,
it was a G clay that he signed and personalized to Ruth Ann.
That's cool.
1 in 100 or whatever.
Yeah, so man. That's huge.
That framed and stuff too.
It was 1 of 100?
Yeah. So he did.
Dude, I do runs
again.
I do runs like that, and I wow. Like if you get 100 series, so to give you perspective.
Oh, it wasn't 1 of 100. I'm sorry.
Okay.
But there was only 100 of them. I think we got 49 or something.
Oh, well, still. That's still. So give you perspective. I recently saw a Norman Rockwell print framed in a very, very special place. A nice, we're talking really nice resort. Mm-hmm. And they had a few Rockwells and classic, right? And I looked down and it's 1,250 whatever in pencil.
Yeah,
it's him, and that's how they do it. A lot of times in the bot. But and I know he's big time artist, obviously American classic top dog.
Well, but he was also hired to do ads for Eminem.
Oh yeah,
Peanuts. He drew. He's that's some I see. He's always streaming. I always like to pop in and you can actually.
I need to
him
watch him.
Streams.
Yeah, I need to watch him. You got to tell me next time he's doing something.
Just follow Neal Adams on Facebook. He usually and it's 20 to 30 people that watch him. Maybe 40, 50. So
you got a good shot to interact and
absolutely
stuff.
100%. Cool. He'll stream for 4 hours.
Yeah. Is he the one that you had earlier mentioned that one of the artists you could collect some of his stuff and you started to talk about some box things that
yes. So what he started doing is selling these red boxes and they're full of random stuff.
I did watch some of it then.
Yeah. I think I shared one with
you shared. Okay.
They're $300, but he includes an original sketch in there.
That's cool. That's
and
worth
the original sketches. They
Dude.
alone sell for $200.
Yeah, I was gonna say that.
And then he'll give you a bunch of
me?
comics that he signs, and he filled it up with candy.
Look, I'm not gonna say I am at all on his level, but I do sketches regularly for at least 300.
Yeah.
A drawing.
Yeah.
I'll do a drawing, and if he's including that, that's awesome.
Yeah, and he'll do I apologize for not knowing this, but I think it's his daughter that does the coloring on it.
Oh, nice. Okay.
So they'll color his stuff. He can color it too, but a
lot of them don't now. Though.
And he literally will commission anything.
Really?
Anything. You can buy anything you want from him. You can say, I want me as Superman drinking a Coca-Cola and Daffy Duck sitting on my knee while we're flying over, whatever. And he would do it.
And he's like, okay.
Because that's what I mean. He's a businessman when it kind of comes down to that, because he's making his living doing that.
Yeah. Well, it takes a special artist to be able to do that anyway. I know. I got asked to do a Ninja Turtle, Bugs Bunny, Daffy Duck. I'm trying to remember what the other one was. It wasn't Elmer Fudd, but as the Rat Pack.
Wow.
And that was pretty difficult. So I digitally...
it's such a variety.
Oh, man.
And then you're trying to make it look...
I don't know what's happening.
What is happening right now?
I'm gonna.
It's definitely yours. Here, I just muted it. Okay. It's coming back on. Here comes the power. Give it a sec.
Hello?
That was the funniest thing I've ever heard.
I thought like something weird was happening.
Get in contact by the aliens.
They were like, gotta talk to Joe.
It's really late right now.
Well, we're gonna wrap it up with this though. So
Yeah.
Finish off with.
So I was gonna tell you the how I sold my my basketball cards.
Yeah.
So
oh my goodness. There's a story to this.
I looked them all up, and as a kid, I collected them.
Yeah.
Not for very long, but elementary, basketball cards are huge because Michael Jordan was still playing. I think that was the best era of basketball ever.
Right.
As far as professional, and Shaquille O'Neal, Michael Jordan, Kevin Garnett.
Dude, from Johnson and Bird, Dr. J to Jordan.
Yeah,
in my opinion, was
Magic Johnson was still playing, or at least I got some of his cards.
Yeah.
Scottie Pippen, Reggie Miller,
but especially with cards.
Cards are huge
because they got huge then.
Because as a kid, we buy the Beckett books.
Yep.
Or one kid would own one.
Yeah.
And that was Bible. Like they'd come in, they'd be like, this is worth $65. That was graded in a case, but we had no idea what that meant. We had these raw, and they're like half bent and everything. We had no idea.
Give me that's 35.
Yeah.
That's
so you trade them and trading them with other people and stuff like that. And I had a collection, probably about 300 cards total, most of them Jordans. And I just put it on Facebook Marketplace one day.
Okay.
Just as my original old Mickey Mouse 3-ring binder. And this guy contacts me.
Yeah.
His profile's really weird. He has a big Jewish star on his profile.
Okay.
And he's like gangster posing in front of it. It's like a do-rag and everything.
Nice.
Black guy.
Okay.
Looked like he was serious about his art. He had like a label or something on there. I was like, that's an
interesting mix.
Yeah. So I was like, okay.
All right.
He wanted to meet, so we go meet at a well-lit, it was pretty late at night, a well-lit area at a gas station. And I look over, and he's like, I'm in the red truck or whatever. I look over, the red truck has a giant spider paint across the whole thing.
I feel like I've seen this truck. It wasn't around here, was it?
Yes, it was.
Okay, I think I've seen the truck.
Okay, so
a giant
he gets
spider.
out. He's got the whole thing. He's got bling, do-rag or whatever. He comes out. He was the nicest guy ever.
Yeah.
And he came over and was like, hey, man. It's like, hello. Kind of, I was like, hey, I'm Ken. He's like,
yeah,
I'm Spider.
And he's Spider.
I was like, Spider? Really? He's like, yeah, well, my real name is, whatever. And he said, and it was very Jewish. And I was like, you know, and I went to Bible school and I've studied the Old Testament and stuff like that too. So
Yeah.
we started talking about Jewish tradition and stuff like that.
For real.
And he said I think he was half Jewish or something, half Jewish, half black.
Yep.
And he was a rap artist that was Judeo-Christian. No, this is blowing my mind.
Yeah.
Just bringing you back to it. But we talked, and he kept talking about how what he believed. It was basically a Messianic Jew, I think is what it was.
Yeah.
But he was trying to explain it, you know, or whatever. And I was like, you know, telling him what I believe because I'm a Christian. And I was like, we're kind of on the same page here. And he ended up giving me one of his rings. It has the Jewish star on it.
No way.
It was a very
You're not wearing it now, are you?
No, I'm not wearing it now. I have it at home somewhere. Like it's
Do you wear it everywhere you go? Do you wear it? That's cool.
But he
that is awesome.
I can't remember what I sold it for. It wasn't very much, but and I told him
$100.
Probably less than that or around that. But he was like, yeah, he's like, it just reminds me of my childhood. He did the same thing we did.
Yep.
You know, trading the cards, doing kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So, if he ever listens to this or hears this, like he was the coolest guy I've ever met. But he was like, we just started talking about that stuff, and he's like, you know what, Ken? I perceive you're a very wise man. Gave me the ring, and then I went home and was like,
"What just happened?"
The most interesting experience I've ever, you know.
Hey.
Never heard of.
Maybe he's like an angel among us, you know? You don't know.
You never know.
That's pretty cool.
Spider truck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Could be.
Yeah.
No, that
I never did go up and look up his music or something, but he was trying to make it as a artist.
We should look him up. We'll have some of his music on for the next intro for the next episode.
Boy. I don't know what we're getting into. But
no, that's really cool. I'm glad we had an episode like this where we got to dive into something that, you know, you helped me learn a little bit about, because I know you've asked me a few questions about art and some of my experiences, and we'll keep doing that, of course. But I want everybody to know, like, it's so fascinating, some of the things that I've watched you get into too, and one of which, since we're brothers, we already have a lot in common, but we all kind of delve into certain areas on different levels. And I've noticed that you've, in the reading aspect, and like I brought up Lord of the Rings earlier, I remember you diving into the books a little bit, and even speaking a little bit or reading a little bit of like Elvish language and, you know, and understanding. Oh, great. It's doing it again. That sounds horrible. Like, oh, my belly. Oh, I'm doing it again. I can't stop. I can't. Okay, I'm shutting it off.
Hold on. No, I'll fix it. Oh, wait.
See, I think I have to.
Oh, wait. It's grounding out or something on you. Oh, you got it. Okay. Okay, he's resetting it.
It's coming back down. It's coming back down. Wait, it has to finish its. Oh, wow. And I'm back. Oh, my goodness.
Wow.
I don't know what to say to that.
I don't either.
I can't come back from that at all, but. All right, so end us on
the
this.
Collector mindset, man.
I wrap it up on.
I don't know how to best describe it other than this way of like, the way that you perceive your your possessions in a way.
Yeah, see, there it is. Yeah.
I guess there was something I've started finding interesting about learning the story, not only of what was created, but how it was created. Ooh. So I'm more almost into how things work than the actual product themselves. That's why I've always been a troubleshooter, an IT guy, a phone fixer, video game fixer person. I've made my living basically on fixing things, whether it's physical or managerial, or, you know, problem solving. You know, I think that's what it is. I think I created a problem for myself, and attempting to fix it by collecting.
And
does that make sense?
Yeah, you're always and you're fascinated with what's behind the curtain, not just, you know, the curtain. what's happening in front, you know.
Yeah.
And that's something that a lot of guys, I'm sure gals as well, but guys I think are interested in, but you take it to like a level that's just crazy awesome, you know.
Crazy.
Really
Just crazy.
well, probably
Just crazy by itself. Because I mean, there's some things that like, you know, I've collected where I'm like, you know what, this doesn't really mean anything to me.
Yeah.
Even though it's really might be very valuable.
right.
Like one.
Now
like
that's when you know you have a problem, man.
well, yeah, but then I got rid of it.
Oh, okay.
So I think I collected. I can't remember. I got a really good deal on like the original Judge Dredd run or something.
Okay, but
just-
to you, it's like I don't have a connection to this.
I'd never
really.
that character. I never done anything with that character.
Right.
I immediately got it and like sold it, and they were all pretty good condition. Made some money on it or whatever, but like, because I thought I was going to get into it, and then when I got it, I was like, no,
This isn't my thing. Yeah,
not really.
I got you. I have a couple of right there. I think there's a couple that I found that I had purchased.
Dangerous.
Yeah,
Dangerous, Joe.
Well, so you know what? One last little thing. The artwork that's on the front is so awesome, and I got them in a pack where I spent like $3 on it, and I got like this big pack, and it was awesome, and I was so excited. And I got some really cool ones, like the Vader series.
Yeah.
I got a couple in that.
Did you know there was a Vader series? I think I let you borrow it. I'll let Peter borrow it. Other brother. There's
Yes.
a book that jumped
Yes.
up to $500 now. It's worth like $500 or more.
Jeez.
That I have, and I don't know why. I have it. It's a book I bought off the shelf. It was $3 or $4.
Yep. So like
And
similar.
then it's
What?
it jumped up to $500.
Oh no! I hear the buzzing.
You do?
No, like I think it's getting ready to. But yeah, no, that's awesome. That's so cool. The thing about this artwork on this one though is that I open it up and the art is a totally different artist on the inside.
Oh yeah, that's
They
the other
got
thing.
me. They got
get you,
me.
man.
I was so upset.
The one that you won't be disappointed on is Alex Ross.
Oh man,
His stuff on the cover matches what's on the inside.
Alex Ross is. I'm mad at him. Like how awesome his stuff is. Well, let's talk about Alex Ross in the next one for a little bit because
Okay.
I want to dig into some art styles. Like we touched on Norman Rockwell. And Alex Ross, I actually think, is influenced by him heavily. Mm-hmm. So he's like the comic version of Norman Rockwell, in my opinion.
He's
a
like
little bit.
ultra realism, but there's still a style to it.
There's a style, and his way of his methodology is very similar, although not caricature-y, which sometimes people attribute to Norman Rockwell. And see, I'm already getting into it, but there's a life that's there. And anyway, using the use of real light and live models and things like that have been a part of both of their stories, at least to a degree. But anyway, it's been fun going down this trail.
Fun,
I think it's going to be fun to dive into a little bit more in the future too. So
yeah,
absolutely. Genius Ken.
Genius.
Ken the Genius. Ben used to call you Ken the Genius.
I don't know where that
didn't he?
came from.
No, it's obvious where it came from to us. Probably not to you. I don't know what he called me. Oh, and I think he called Peter the Gentile.
Yeah, because we were all like, people asked if we were Jewish sometimes. All the dark.
Yeah, but
curly
Peter
heads.
didn't get it. He had to
Peter
be
was
the
different.
Gentile.
Yeah, Peter didn't fit the.
I guess. I don't know if that's
Beard
really
or whatever.
why.
I don't know. That was a really long time ago.
So much. Though.
Peter the Gentile.
Peter the Gentile.
I don't know what he called you.
We're not allowed to say on this. No, I'm just kidding.
Okay, guys. Well, we better end it there before we go.
We're gonna get in trouble.
But thanks, guys, for listening.
Thanks for listening.
It's been fun. I hope you guys are enjoying it as well.
I am.
Hey, you know what?
Oh, bring it back.
I'm Ken,
And this is Joe.
and together we're
Joking around.
joking around. I'm so tired.